This will be a demo on what is called a stagger. It's a vibrating effect from back to forth. You'll see something if you have a Elmer Fudd or Bugs Bunny, they get struck by something. Like two cymbals behind them. Someone creeps up behind them, smashes the two cymbals, and they start vibrating back and forth. You will get something where the effect, and this is just a rough one, goes constantly back and forth, creating this sort of a vibration. And this can go on for as long as you want it to. And you start to get something that's sort of looks like that. That might be a little too spread across, but I'm gonna show you again. That would be like the main character's head if cymbals were struck behind him, and the eardrums in his head started causing him to start shaking like the cymbals. Now, that was just a really quick little example. This is a pretty basic lab. Now, if you were to do this with a diving board, diving boards do this, obviously, because they vibrate back and forth. And you're going to start with something like so. And what I'm going to do is, generally you could do this by transform. So generally you could do this by just drawing it in by hand. I'm trying a slightly different technique this morning where I use the line tool and then just use my selection tool to bend the line and change the point. But for a quick demo, to do this by hand takes a few minutes, literally like 3 minutes. And I'm just holding this as long as the previous one. Okay, so now you get something like this without it actually starting to come inwards a little bit. So I'm going to have it play. I think it plays just slightly too long, but I like the beginning of it. So I've got up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now I'm going to have it slightly go just a little bit less. 7. A little bit less up, so maybe something like so. And then you can, if you're going for, this is just going for more of a, instead of a free hand-drawn style, I'm using the mouse. I'm just trying something different to see how well it works. And try it here. So you want to have this onion skin be 2 frames backwards, and we're just going to slightly bring it to a standstill. And you start to see it starts to vibrate back into place. And I'll do one more where it is vibrating back to the standstill. And here what I'll do is I'm just going to draw a straight line across. And I'm going to hold that for a few frames. And now you'll see I have a little wiggle in the line here, but you can always change that by going to your edit multiple frames. And what I'm going to do here is, instead of having it all wiggle like so, I'm going to create it so they all have the same length. And now I'm going to turn edit multiple frames off and play it back. It's got a little wiggle on the board here, but that's totally fine. You would, if you were going for perfection, you might want it to be perfectly straight and then start to bend. But I was playing around with the different tools, such as the line tool and then adjusting it with the arrow tool or selection tool. But that's a stagger. And I didn't go about the traditional way of doing it by hand. I did it with the line tool and just some nifty little tools up here. So I'm going to post both videos here on this lab so you can see both hand-drawn and sort of this style. Thanks for watching.